Hello viewers, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. Today I want to look at Rupert Murdoch. Now for those that don't know, Rupert Murdoch is the owner of Fox News. In Australia he owns a raft of newspapers and including Sky News, which of course is a sister channel to Fox News. In England, in London, he owns media as well as television interests there as well. Earlier last year, we lost our Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull was ousted from the leadership, and it emerged that Rupert Murdoch had actually made the call that Malcolm Turnbull had to go. He'd also contacted his another media baron and has said Turnbull has to go. These things were alleged in reporting at the time in Australia. Now, I've had questions come through my feed. Is Rupert Murdoch going to interfere in Australia's elections? So I think I want to cover this today, but I think it goes to the heart of Rupert Murdoch's interference generally in politics. We know that he met multiple times with Donald Trump. We know that Fox News, of which he owns and leads, we know that Fox News has been blatantly biased towards Donald Trump. I have watched some of the coverage of Fox News and I've been astounded at the boundaries. There's no boundaries, I was going to say the boundaries that they cross in relation to fair and unbiased reporting. There is no boundary there for Fox News. It's simply more of this rhetoric and hateful gaslighting all the time coming from the media. So we know that he's had a hand in supporting Trump. We know that allegedly he spoke to another media baron in Australia and conferred with that media baron and was allegedly said to this media baron, Malcolm Turnbull has to go. Now, the conjecture is that he got behind the new candidate, Scott Morrison, who eventually went on to become the Prime Minister. So there is really grave fears that Murdoch might again interfere, skew coverage in his newspapers against the Labor leader in Australia, Bill Shorten. In Fox over in America, there's fears that that the anchors and the personalities that are appearing on Fox are actually almost having a hand in running the government, because that policies or the commentary then shows up in Trump's policies later on. Over in England, we've got Farage, who's the Brexit campaigner. Very close to Rupert Murdoch. Boris Johnson, who was a minister in Theresa May's government, was until he stood down, a rival of Theresa May's. He's very close to Rupert Murdoch. So what we see here is a pattern, viewers, a pattern of a media baron, a media monopoly, a big business, a corporation, a huge media player. We see actually almost getting bold in coming forward and interfering in the politics and in making sure that certain leaders are elected. So he is known as the Kingmaker, has been known right from his earlier life, was known as someone who either helped those rise to power or hindered those attain power. It seems like in his dotage, because he's aging now, nothing much has changed. Now, in relation, I guess, to how we would be looking at this, it is really big business interfering in what you see and hear in the media, with a goal and an aim to get a certain candidate elected. Now, why would they want certain candidates elected? They want them elected so that they will get their tax cuts, so that they will get their, in Australia we have cross-media ownership laws, which prime ministers can fiddle around the margins with and allow perhaps Rupert Murdoch to not only own a stable of papers but a couple of media. So our media ownership laws exist so that we can have diversity in media. This is one thing that the big media monopolies don't want. They don't want diversity. So it is all about controlling what you see and hear, but it's also about getting those people elected to government who will do their bidding. All right, so with that background, we're going to go to Australia. Rupert Murdoch was born in Australia. I'm sorry to say he is an Australian, though he's lived in England for many, many, many years. We're going to go to Australia, we're going to go to America, we're going to go to England. And we're going to ask, what do we need to know about Rupert Murdoch's interference in politics? Will it be tempered in any way? Is this going to just keep going on? What do we need to know about the way that Rupert Murdoch, Fox News, Sky News, England and Australia, what do we need to know about Rupert Murdoch's interference in politics, the kingmaker? Okay, so we've straight away got the star card, right? So this is, it's coming forward as hope. Now, I'm not sure if that's hope for Murdoch to be tempered, to be hamstrung in some way, for a more balanced media approach to come forward. Is that what we're going to see over the next decade? We need media diversity. We're starting to look at that in Australia. Is America looking at that? Is England looking at that? Is this problem of this concentration of media and the interference of the media owners and corporations into our political lives and into getting those elected that will follow their agendas? Is this going to stop? Is there hope that it will stop? Well, we're pulling the Hangman, which is the suspension card. It is almost like they're tripping themselves up. That's the energy that I get here. And I would go to Fox News. Now, Fox News has blatantly supported Donald Trump. He have had a role in his policies, in crafting of his policies. Indeed, in the wall, he was ready to do a deal, keep the government open. Fox News commentators urged him, I think called him weak. Now we have a government shutdown. Now the reason that the shutdown's continuing is because Donald Trump told somebody that he would look stupid if he took a deal or if he opened the government up. So here we have this insanity, is all I can call it, this insanity that is reigning in politics and government and due diligence and responsible government, and it's almost trial by media, policy by media, government by media. Rupert Murdoch, this is sitting right direct at your feet. Now we've got some sort of proposal coming forward. The Knight comes forward with some sort of deal or some sort of proposal. What does that mean? What does that mean here? What are we looking for here? What do we need to know? So he's putting proposals. The other aspects of these cards is he's providing these elected or these candidates with hope. He has something on them. Okay, so these are the other aspects to these cards. He has something on them. The thing that he has on them is, I will bring forth bad publicity against you, bad stories. It's a form of blackmail, if you like, and there's a proposal put to these candidates, okay? And whatever I would suspect, allegedly that media barons want, they would make it known to these candidates in front. And because here we've got the 10 of Pentacles, which is all about loans, debts, generosity, gifts being given. So again, this strengthens this proposal that media moguls make it known what they want up front. There's an understanding. I'm getting multiple layers to this reading because I'm getting justice coming here against the suspension and potentially the tying the candidates up in relation to what media barons may want. I'm getting justice coming forward here. So this could be that there could be some change coming down the track, and that there will be some sort of justice done. Now, in Australia, we have a rival newspaper group to Murdoch's stable, and they come forward with the stories and the exposés about Murdoch. In America, what have we got? What have we got coming down the track in relation to Fox News? Because it's suggesting that something will come down the line to show that Murdoch and those media barons like him are right at the centre of things. Okay, they're right there where they shouldn't be. Okay, so we've got money news. We've got some sort of money news coming forward. And it's also in relation to the proposals. So this could be some advertising. So don't forget, media has at its disposal advertising. They can be put into prime time slots. They can deliver particular messages through anchors and in within their news. I think this is what we're talking about here. We asked what we needed to know. And we've got the pacts that between the candidates and the media here, the media barons, shall I say, the pacts, and the illusions that the lengths that they will go to. Think about Fox News. Think about what they do. It's almost like I talked about gaslighting at the beginning of this reading. This is what they're doing. So again, what has transpired with these media owners, with these candidates prior to election? What sort of conversations have what have taken place, shall we say? Now we've got moving on here. So this is almost like the last couple of years across Australia, across America, across England. The media's, these media barons, their role in politics is going to be scrutinised in some way, and there may be this moving on, I guess, of their influence. I mean, can you imagine if we just take America as a case study? We've got the Fox News support for Donald Trump. Donald Trump later, he's been investigated by a special counsel. The special counsel provides evidence of potential alleged collusion, conspiracy, obstruction of justice. Other investigations provide evidence of alleged corruption in relation to campaign donations and laws and inauguration money coming through, breaching of the Emollients Act, all of these things. What's that going to do? What's Fox News or Fox going to be saying then? Okay, I think what you're going to see, if we take America as a case study, a lot of these prominent anchors and personalities like Hannity will be moved on. Now, don't forget, Hannity made an appearance at one of Donald Trump's rallies. They will be moved on. But is that enough? Is that enough? Because the snake, the head of the snake is still there. You might, until you cut that off, then you're going to get this continued interference in politics and electing leaders. Now, I'm going to go to Australia now because we've got an election coming up in March 2019. Not so very long, not March, but in 2019, later on this year. Now, I want to have a look at whether Murdoch will again interfere. I think it's probably a given that he probably will. You're going to get... but he's also quite obviously savvy. He's, started a media empire and grew it. is he likely to... is the Murdoch stable, that's what we call them, the Murdoch media stable, is it likely to interfere in the Australian election in 2019? Is the Murdoch stable likely to interfere in 2019? We'll do a yes-no spread here. So straight away we've got the Emperor, the Kingmaker. Here he is, the Kingmaker, coming forward straight away in the reading. We've got the Queen of Cups. So again, this... I guess there's a stability aspect to this card, and it's also a support. There's a support element to it. So the Kingmaker is again going to be supporting a particular candidate. Again, there's going this money, the Knight of Pentacles coming forward. Again, this potentially the same conditions that we saw in the last reading may very well exist for the Australian election. There's definitely communications going on there between those in power and media heads, media editors or media bosses. There's definite This is the Three of Wands, which is smoke signals. Communications going on there in relation to expanding and working together. The Queen of Wands, the inspiration. So not only is there support and proposals coming forward, it's almost as if... Now here is the critical thing that I'll go back to America on here, and again England. The Queen of Wands is an inspirational, resourceful, confident person. But I think the key thing here is the inspiration. So media can inspire voters, and media can also turn voters against candidates. It's all about inspiration. And if you think about the gaslighting comes from that inspirational place, albeit twisted. There's still an inspiration there. So this is what the media can do. This is potentially what it could do in Australia in front of that election. And we've got lots and lots of it happening. Okay, so if you think about primetime advertising, news anchors, particular editorials, op-eds, this is saying the media landscape is twisted, and it's huge. It's absolutely heavily skewed. So interesting. We've got the Emperor and the Empress coming forward in this reading. It's all, I mean, I can see the media here. Now, they have the power to turn voters against particular candidates. And the illusion and gaslighting. Okay. So, yes, this reading, I asked for a quick yes, no. The media stable, the Murdoch media stable, is again going to run interference in the 2019 campaign. Are they going to elect or not? No, the Australian public will do that, but certainly the media stable will be supporting a particular candidate. Who will that be? I don't know, but they will again be supporting their candidate, if you like, and will be doing quite a lot to help that candidate get elected. But remember, the media does not ultimately... we've got diversity still in Australia, and we've got a balance there still. It's when you don't have diversity that there's a problem. So, okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look at, will Fox News be brought into line? Okay, post-Trump. What are we looking at for Fox News? Just a quick greeting now. What are we looking at for Fox News post-Trump? Fox News post-Trump. What's going to happen to those very loudmouth gaslighters? Okay, what's post-Trump Fox News? All right, so we've got the Knave of Pentacles coming forward. I think they'll be looking for work. Okay, not a good thing for them, the Eight of Swords. They're actually going to be isolated. There's a downfall coming for them. And there's going to be a very, 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 very strong backlash towards Fox News post-Trump. We've got the Two of Wands here. Now, it's going to be... the thing that will go against Fox News is when the alleged conspiracy, the depths of that, when that comes forward, it's almost like Fox News is going to be seen as not patriots. And there's going to be lots and lots of communication in the Knave of Wands. This is talking, this is communication. So not only they will become a news story, that's what this card is saying. Those anchors that are gaslighting, that are riling up the base, that are taking charge of the government via media, they are going to have a huge downfall, and they are going to be the subject of stories, the media stories themselves. And of course, what's going to bring all this about is the sword of truth. Okay, so that's Fox News. And I would say that those conditions are going to go forward. The tide has turned, viewers. The tide has turned. The midterms were evidence of that. The polls in Australia are evidence of that. The polls are showing that the current government, which deposed Malcolm Turnbull, its leader, is going to be decimated. The person that took over from Turnbull in a party coup, if you like, is terribly, terribly unpopular. Now, in England and London, Britain, UK, we've got the tide turning as well, with almost equal numbers now not wanting to withdraw from the EU, and then equal numbers wanting to. So that suggests to me there possibly will be some sort of compromise there. So conditions are changing is my wrap-up comment here. Murdoch's influence is waning. He's gone too far. It's been going on too long. We, the people, are greater than the corporate elites, the dark money, albeit in media baron guise. We, the people, are greater at the end of the day than them. So there's been an overshooting and overstepping, and now there is a karmic aspect to all of this now. The wheel is going to turn. So expect those Fox News anchors, if you're listening from America, expect them to be looking for work and the subject of news stories themselves. And in Australia, yes, we will have the same things that go on in every election with the media barons supporting particular candidates, but that's not going to really determine our election result. And in England, we've got the tide starting to turn as well. People underestimate us, don't they? And they underestimate us at their peril. So I'll leave that there. And I'll read again on later on, perhaps on, the government shutdown is really starting to bite. We might take a look at where the progress is up to, at this particular time. Perhaps tomorrow or the next day, we'll have another look at the government shutdown, because that's getting quite worrying. But in the meantime, here's something different for you on the big media barons who influence, who have too much influence, and really the crystal message here: media diversity is a protection for you and for me, whether we're in Australia or whether we're in London or whether we're living in America. Media diversity, multiple players in the market, so you're getting balanced news, is the key to our democracy. Thank you.